At least 8 2024 hopefuls will speak at CPAC, the conservative movement's premier conference this weekend in Florida, giving Republicans their clearest look yet at who is competing in the traditional GOP presidential lanes. But no matter what, there is only one lane that truly matters, the one that is currently occupied by former President Donald Trump. Trump, the keynote speaker at the Conservative Political Action Conference, is the party's undisputed leader at the moment, and for the foreseeable future. And whether he chooses to run again in 2024 or not, his mere presence is likely to determine the shape of the primary. Trump's grip on the Republican base and his effect on the minds of White House hopefuls is so total that the path to the GOP nomination is best defined by the degree of loyalty to Trump, to the point where party operatives reach for elaborate metaphors to best convey the extent of his influence. Already, potential prospects and party leaders are heading down to Trump's Palm Beach club for an audience with the former president. It is a reflection, top Republicans say, of a nomination contest that will break down along fault lines that trace back to Trump. So with CPAC currently underway, here is a breakdown of the 2024 GOP presidential lanes that are taking shape. The first lane is what I would call Trump Premium. Essentially, you can look at these lanes as if they are different upgrades or packages you can pay for from a service company, because that is basically what this is, a service to Donald Trump in return for his support. There is a saying by some in Trump's orbit that if you are with him 99% of the time, you're a damn traitor, a testament to the absolute unwavering loyalty that he demands. Those purity and loyalty tests make the Trump Premium lane one of the toughest to run in. The single most crucial metric for senators and representatives up to this point who expect to occupy this lane is opposition to the certification of the Electoral College results that officially made him the loser and that led to a storming of the Capitol by a pro-Trump mob. That puts Texas Senator Ted Cruz, Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, and Florida Senator Rick Scott, who are all CPAC speakers, squarely in the Trump Premium camp. Furthermore, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, whose stock is rising rapidly in the National Party, will open the conference with welcoming remarks. He's got a lot of MAGA credentials for his Trumpist handling of the COVID-19 pandemic in Florida and status as governor of Trump's newly adopted home state, which the former president won twice. And to put the cherry on top, to this very day, DeSantis refuses to publicly acknowledge that President Joe Biden was legitimately elected. However, DeSantis is not the only governor in this category. South Dakota's Kristi Noem, another CPAC speaker, is a dark horse candidate. Kristi Noem, who is holding a fundraising at Mar-a-Lago on March 5th, is a Fox News regular who once gave Trump a miniature Mount Rushmore featuring his own face. Lastly, Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State known within the previous administration for his unwillingness to criticize Trump even in private, also belongs to this crowded group and is scheduled to speak at CPAC. Now, the next lane will go under the name Trump Standard. This lane is populated by candidates who have put any space, however little, between themselves and the former president. In the case of former Vice President Mike Pence, who was consistently loyal to Trump for more than 4 years, it was his refusal to reject the Electoral College certification when he presided over the vote. That cost him support and approval among Trump supporters to the point where some even denounced him altogether. And he also declined an invitation to speak at CPAC. Next is Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, a leading voice in criticizing China, one of Trump's signature issues, who is in the same situation as Pence after voting to accept the Electoral College results. Then so is Florida Senator Marco Rubio, although Rubio carved out somewhat of a niche for himself as a consistent anti-Trump Republican, who frequently attacks the former president's critics. But he committed the sin of mildly criticizing Trump after his 2 impeachments and blasted him as a primary rival in 2016. Both Cotton and Rubio, however, are scheduled to speak at CPAC. Additionally, Trump's former United Nations ambassador, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, recently stepped out of the full Trump lane by making critical comments about her former boss, and she was promptly rejected by the former president when she requested a meeting with him at Mar-a-Lago. Haley's standing in her home state's primary looms large as well because the lanes that candidates will run in have both an ideological and geographical dimension. Since South Carolina is traditionally the 3rd state to vote in a primary and the first to go in the South, it exerts an extra gravitational pull. Now finally, our final lane could either be called Trump Zero or Trump No. Jeff Rowe, rhyme intended, who advised Cruz on his 2016 presidential bid, has polled Republican primary voters extensively in recent years on what type of candidate they would support. He believes that the party has three distinctive lanes: a full Trump lane, aka Trump Premium, a most conservative lane composed of fiscal and social conservatives, and a most electable lane that reflects a preference for whomever can beat the Democrats. That focus on electability is at the heart of the Trump Zero lane. It is essentially the vehicle of the anti-Trump wing, the group of Republicans who have often called out the president for his rhetoric and post-election behavior, yet can still single out some positive aspects of Trump's 4-year reign from a policy perspective. The problem, however, is the lane might be so small that it's not much of a path at all. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan and Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse could both be seen as the most recognizable faces of this group. But David Koshel, a longtime GOP strategist, stated it is probably not even a lane, it's more like a gravelly shoulder on the side of a mountain that is about to crumble into the ocean. So there you have it basically, your three tentative lanes for the 2024 Republican nomination: Trump Premium, Trump Standard, and Trump Zero. Looking ahead, more prominent Republicans could still come out against or possibly in favor of Trump over the next 2 years. But the former president does seem antsy to get the ball rolling as soon as possible. Although, given that the entire nomination revolves around his decision to run or not to run, we all must wait for the big news out of Palm Beach before making any predictions with conviction. That is all for today's video though, I hope you all enjoyed. Please make sure to follow my personal Instagram and EP Official on all social medias shown on screen and linked in the description down below. Also, make sure to comment your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, and please hit the like button if you liked the video as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out more content from my channel here, and as always, tune in next time. EP out.